Well, hello, this is me back on the green again. I think we're 28 years appearing on the green at this point in time, and it hasn't changed. I'd like to point out that this is Lusk as it has been, and as I think it might be for the time being. I don't see much chance of the green changing. The only new thing I see is a new nesting box up on that tree there. Full marks to whoever put it there. But I've just been reading at this stage. I've been reading into the plans for the future. Enough, I'll have to say, that Lusk developed very nicely and very neatly over the last several generations. We've had housing estates grew there, we had Kelly Park, we had Ireland Park, they came, and these people truly call themselves Lusk people at this stage. And then came that big roaring Celtic tiger, and things started to move. Land started to be rezoned, land started to develop. Several new housing estates grew up in the area, and the finest of people came to live in them. It's great stuff. It's moving fast again now. We had a little break there for 7 or 8 years when everybody was broke, but now they're unbroken and they're up there, and development is kicking off again apace. So I've been looking at this here and saying, what are they doing to my village at this stage? What's coming up? And just the other day I bumped into a friend, Councillor Tom O'Leary, and I said, I'm going to ask this man what's happening here, what's coming at us. Come here, Tom, I want you.
How are you?
I'm good to see you.
Right.
Lurking around the place.
Yes.
We really exist out here in Lusk.
You
What
do.
are you at? What are you doing to my village?
You're on the map definitely again.
Yes.
Well, it's a beautiful village here. I'm from Skerries up the road, but this village green here is unique in the North County as far as I'm concerned. In a fast growing county with some serious development going on. Swords up the road is set to hit 100,000, basically to become a city, the capital of Fingal. And the unique village of Lusk with all its cultural heritage and local heritage here that the Lusk Heritage Group have captured. The stories they've captured online are wonderful. You have the Round Tower here. Thomas Ashe was here. And yes, there's a lot of development going on. It's the pressure of demand for housing because you're an attractive place to live, and we want to keep it that way. We have new schools coming in. I get a great kick out of driving from Skerries into Lusk, and I see, instead of looking at cranes down by the quays in Dublin City, seeing 3 cranes in Lusk building schools and community facilities, 2 new gymnasiums coming in here, and hopefully we'll have a 4th crane here shortly, very shortly, maybe this summer, to extend the secondary school, long overdue. This week I got some news on the long-awaited Lusk Sports Hub that the community are rightly pushing and campaigning for. It's been delayed a bit, but I've been told the paperwork is nearly finished, and I've been, how to put this, not guaranteed but assured that the land will be handed over shortly to develop a state-of-the-art Lusk Sports Hub for all the clubs here. So Lusk Round Towers and all the local clubs in Fingal and in Lusk. I mean, it's amazing how fast they're growing. Skerries Harps have more than 1,000 members, and I'm sure Lusk Round Tower shortly will be hitting that number. So we need new sports fields for Lusk Round Towers. They've lobbied me recently. So we've got to get that Lusk Sports Hub up and running, and it should have been handed over long ago, but please God now it'll be handed over shortly, and the community and Fingal can get to grips with it and develop a super sports hub there. And you have another unique facility in Lusk, which I'm delighted to see. You have a Lusk Athletics Club with 400 members. I am not aware of any other village or town in the North County with an athletics club like that, and you should be proud of it. And they're going to be catered for in the sports hub. There are shopping facilities on the way. You've grown to a certain size. Currently 9,600 according to the CSO.
Yes,
2016 gym, and
I'd like to point out to you, Tom, that the population has increased by a factor of 5 in 16 years.
Yes.
Which is, I don't know, is there any other village in this county that has increased in population at that rate?
Okay.
Shopping facilities, okay, everybody needs to eat and everybody needs to polish the floor.
Yeah.
So more shops coming your way.
Well, look, this is a beautiful little town. It's got character in the old core of the village, but it definitely needs more shopping facilities. And I'm not necessarily talking about modern shopping facilities. They are on the way. There's an application in a Borpanol, and you've grown to a certain size that you do require shopping facilities. But I'm from Skerries. There's 4 or 6 coffee shops up there, more, and they're hopping.
Yes.
And Lusk needs its own unique cottage-style coffee shop in the town core, or something like that, to complement the town core. So I look forward to something like that. I'd love to be able to sit here and have a coffee and have a chat with yourself, Jim. Meeting local people. That's a deficit at the minute, and if there's anyone out there, I'd love to see it happening. I've got a call out already. So anyway, yes, there will be major town centre facilities over the next few years developed, which is good in the centre of Lusk, not outside Lusk, which would kill the town. So it's part of the town core.
Yes.
And you're lucky too to have the train station nearby. It's a little bit of a walk, but it's nearby and it's there, and that's very useful for local people going to and from work, and students getting in and out of Dublin.
Indeed.
So that is one of the reasons why this town is growing. It's attractive to live in, and I know it's if you've lived here for years, maybe the pace of change is a little bit difficult to deal with, but we have to do the best we can and plan it the best we can and listen to the people in Lusk the best we can, particularly the Lusk Tidy Towns group, who are working really hard to sell and develop the image of Lusk, which are doing very well. They won a bronze medal, and I'm sure they're going to do better again.
Oh, they're shooting higher.
Yeah.
Big time.
Well, the Skerries up the road can win it. I'm sure Pat Kelly and crew have the staying power in Lusk to win it, and I look forward to Lusk winning the Tidy Towns here.
I'm looking at this town now, and I'm just wondering, I'm not a map reading person, but
yes,
it looks as if there's no question about it, this town is going to be a big town very soon.
Yes.
A couple of, we'll take the Station Road for instance now. What? You said the shopping centre is going there, all right. Any other plans for that particular area?
Well, the shopping centre, there are apartments and houses due to go in there, because they're located centrally beside the shopping facilities, which is very good.
Yes.
I mean, if I was to say one thing, there would be a need, like every other town in the county. We need some facilities, specialised facilities for older folk in Lusk.
Yes.
People like to downsize and live near, within walking distance of shopping centres, and there should be a site allocated somewhere in Lusk to offer facilities for older folk, to keep them at home. All right, they like to stay in their houses, but sometimes they need a specialised facility to stay out of nursing homes, stay out of hospitals, and that should be catered for in that.
All very praiseworthy, all right. It's important that the facilities develop at least the same pace as the extra residents.
Yes.
And we talked about the sports facility. It's great.
Yes,
and that's
100%.
an indigenous outfit that's there.
Yeah.
Good to see them recognised.
Yeah.
But okay, the infrastructure, the road structure, all that stuff.
Yes, footpaths.
We really hope
cycle paths.
Now that it's coming, we don't want us to become a victim of its own success.
Yes, I hear you.
And
I think it's fairly well planned. Yes, there are growing pains, but that's part of the public interaction, and it's good that there's an active community group here, aggressively minding the interests of the local people here, including yourselves, Lusk Tidy Towns, and the other community groups, the Lusk 2020 Sports Hub Group. And they're certainly pushing for the delivery of facilities quicker for Lusk. Yes, there are 9,600 people here. Yes, there will be more. They're all going to demand modern facilities, the same as every other town that surrounds us here. They need shopping facilities.
Yes.
We don't want people leaving Lusk and traffic coming and going and driving out, but we want them to shop local and provide local employment here, hopefully into the future. That's another aspect of this plan here. That's earmarked for local general industry. It's a small park where we might have some local small factories, or people that are already in factories and maybe want to move out in Lusk to a more suitable location. So it would be nice to have some local employment here, more local employment here. Not a major industrial estate, but one that suits the town and fits the town. Yeah,
well, most of the employers in Lusk have been farmers in the past.
Yes, agri-food is huge here.
Yes.
And we have Country Crest not far away from here, employing a lot of people. And it's very important to the economy here.
It certainly is. The fact that local high quality produce is available there, it needs pushing.
There's more potential here too. I'm sure there's a few entrepreneurs out there lurking in Lusk. If they got a bit of encouragement in the food area, they'd have a go. We could be the West Cork of Ireland here in this county. with Rush up the road, the Market
Yes.
Garden of Ireland, Skerries down the road, and Lusk, working together as a triumvirate together,
Yes.
selling their heritage and their local produce. We have great potential here if we work together. Everyone to their own strength and work as a group together. I see great
Good.
potential in
Sounds
the area.
attractive, definitely. Up the Skerries Road now.
Here's the Lusks. No, there it is there. So this is
Yeah.
that green patch there, as you can see, is pretty big. I think I'm right now here.
Yeah.
That is the Lusk Sports Hub. Okay?
Excellent.
So this piece of ground here is the piece of ground you're referring to on the Skerries Road,
Yes.
on the right as you leave the town,
Yeah.
past the most famous vegetable producing shop in the town that regularly advertises general election politicians. I've seen Michael Kennedy selling potatoes there, and Brendan Ryan recently has been selling potatoes
Yes.
there. It's great to see the election posters being recycled and being put to a useful use.
Absolutely right. Everything has a function eventually.
So anyway, back to this development here, and we see the diggers in here. I'm not sure of the size of that, but it's not actually a really large piece of ground. If I was to guess, maybe 100 houses might go in
Right.
there.
I don't know.
And I don't take that now as 100% accurate, but I'm just, looking at the map possibly. But look at the large green space beside us, right
Yes.
beside the soccer club, and all this area here with schools. That's a great central area that everyone can access from these houses, walk to it. I think that's well laid out. I would say another little thing. I have a wee motion down in the council. I explained to you about the sports clubs, getting bigger and bigger. There are bits of ground that become available here that are not expensive, and the council should be buying them for
Yes.
the community.
Absolutely.
I am aware of now, I'm not going to point to any area, but there was 5 acres or 6 acres here, very well centrally located, for only 80,000 that should have been bought for a football pitch in
Yes.
the local town.
Yes.
When in the future ever again are you going to find 5 or 6 acres for 80,000?
Not until the next crash.
Yeah, well, I have a motion down in the council asking them to do that and to look around,
Yes.
as bits become available. I've explained the town is going to grow.
Yes.
We're going to have houses,
It's
so
unavoidable.
if there's corners and fields we can buy at reasonable prices, let's do it.
Well, I'm all for it.
And if there's any information coming forward from the local community that they're aware of they should push all local councillors. And you have I have to refer to what I call King Kenny,
Yes.
Ken Farrell,
Yes.
who is he works very hard in Lusk, and I admire him for that, and has done for years. But
He has done.
and,
No question about it.
and you all work with him.
Yes, so it looks
You
as
should,
if
you should make a representation to us all. If you see an area that you think could be a football field, tell us, and we'll push the council to see will they acquire it
Right,
or
yeah.
acquire it with the football club.
well, it looks as if it's going to happen, and we now in the Heritage Group are
Yeah.
going to have to roll along.
Yes.
Heritage is not something that stopped yesterday.
Yeah.
It continues every
Yes.
day.
Yes.
Okay, history is yesterday's paper, but
Yes.
today is the day,
Yeah.
and we have to be equal to it.
I'm delighted to hear what you told me this morning, the briefing you gave me, the Heritage Group,
Yes.
about all the history you've captured live, verbally and on camera. And I look forward to assisting you in that. As I told you earlier, I was down in Kerry,
Yes.
and they have it well organised down there, and they did get a few bob to assist them to do the job. So
People did say to me in the past, never ask a politician anything or he'll tell you. And Tom has told us, and in fact, I have to say, Tom, it has been germane to the issue.
Yes.
It has been to the point, and it
Okay.
has pointed us in the right
Yeah.
direction. We really like to know what's
Yeah.
happening. We don't
Yeah.
like surprises
Yes.
to any great
Oh,
extent.
yeah.
And I have to say, much appreciate you
Okay.
putting us in the picture.
All right, thank you very much,
Keep
Jim.
the good work up.
Well, thank you very much, Jim, for inviting me out here. And finally, I'm very impressed with this leaflet here, Fáilte go Luska. And can I say Fáilte go Luska to everyone out there from all over the world? And I want to say a little hello to my friend David Pearce in Moscow. Advertise that in Moscow, Dave.